Carly Goshen will send it over, and the Mustangs will keep it alive. Now the attack from the far side, and it's down for the kill. Olivia Dorenz. Chloe Hertz. Hertz pushes it in back there to Schmidt. Shot from the point. It's in! Off the stick of Taylor Leonards, excuse me, and it's 3-0. Taylor Leonards with the third goal for the Bismarck Blizzard on the shot from the point on the far side. And the Blizzard are running on all cylinders here in period number 41-37, 4:25 to go here as the Kindred Vikings will work it down low. Another slam dunk and one. How about that? A slam dunk by Gavin Keller, and he got fouled on the two-handed throwdown. Kennedy Kuntz will pop that one up left center field. It's going back, and we have our first grand slam of the All-Star Series in 3 years. Hansen under center, drops back, looks near side. I believe that's Formo, and he's got it. Fargo South touchdown.
Kaylee Jackson, three-pointer up, and no, that one won't go in. Tana Litt pulls down the deep offensive board. She'll put up a three. That one's in, we're tied.
Grothman won't be able to control it. The ball will escape over to the far sideline. Fargo Davies will come up that far sideline, and a nice through ball there, and this could be an opportunity. Centering pass, one-on-one. Was she outside? She was not. It's 1-0 Fargo Davies. Bad pitch here, and the bases are loaded. Line drive right into center field, and that will score 1 run. And rounding third is Lowrich, and he'll score. It's a 2-run RBI double for Casey Reber. Shot from the point, Bree Adams, lowering hard, and it's in! Off the stick of Sydney Kamstrup, and the Cougars are on the board! Press box here, the best we're able to. That one's going high left field, and running for it is Schwab, and she makes a diving catch! Wow, what a play by Cameron Schwab, the junior in left field, to end the inning.
Fantastic catch.
All right, welcome. We're at West Fargo High School here on the ND Sports Channel. Hope you're having a great evening. If you're just joining us here or you just missed it, the junior varsity game was won by West Fargo by the score of 3-1. That one is currently processing on our YouTube page and should be available before the conclusion. I'm saying probably by halftime or something like that. Definitely by the end of the varsity game here, in case you missed it. So once again, in the JV game, the West Fargo Packers pick up a 3-1 win over the Fargo Davies Eagles, and that sets us up here for the varsity game. And also, we're going to be attempting to take live look-ins at the Shanley Cheyenne Mustang game during the course of this game as well here on the ND Sports Channel. So we'll do that. Currently, we're at 70 degrees. We should stay in the upper 60s. I would say we won't dip below 67 by the time this game comes to a conclusion. Coming up here on your pregame show, we'll take a look at the two teams and how they compare with each other. Take a look at some of the other games being played around the area and much more as the ND Sports Channel pregame show continues next here on the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at Sportsnet or us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
All All right, welcome back here to West Fargo High School as we get ready for the Packers and the Davies Eagles. It's a rematch of the 2018 state championship game where the Packers would pick up a 1-0 win in that title bout, scoring a goal with about just shy or just a little over 2 minutes remaining in that state championship game. Fargo Davies would love to get one back here. These two teams, they actually tied in their 2 regular season meetings last year. So it's been a while since we've had a definite winner outside of tournament matchups where a definite winner is required. In regular season, games can end in a tie, and that's how these two teams ended up last season. Now, West Fargo, they're familiar with tying. They've had a few of those on their schedule. We'll take a look at that, but first we'll take a look at the Fargo Davies Eagles. 5-1-1 on the year. They had a scare not long ago against Fargo South, but they were able to pull out that win there and stay at that 5-1-1 mark. So they picked up the 1-0 win over Minot to kick off the season. They would fall their only loss so far to the Century Patriots 3-1 back on August 16th. Since then, the 1-0 win over South, the 3-0 win over the Shanley Deacons. Then they tied 0-0 with Grand Forks Red River, and then followed that up with back-to-back wins, 3-2 over Cheyenne and Fargo North 5-1. In that Fargo North game, that one goal that the Spartans scored, that was their first goal of the season against an EDC opponent for the Spartans. And it was scored by Caden Headley. It was a game we had for you a couple days ago here on the ND Sports Channel. So that brings them in tonight's game against West Fargo. Then they'll be home against Grand Forks Central and Fargo South. And then they'll see Shanley at Sid Sickey Stadium. That game will be live on Shanley TV on September 12th. Then back home against Red River, and then Cheyenne, who knocked off Grand Forks Central on Tuesday, handing the Knights their first loss of the season. The Mustangs would defeat the Knights 1-0, and now as a result, on their overall record, the Knights are sitting at 6-0-1 on the year. So let's look at the Davies Eagles. They've scored 19. They've only allowed 7 goals so far on the season. Let's take a look at the Packers. Well, as I mentioned, they have had a few ties, and it's probably 3 frustrating games that they wish they could have another shot at and maybe take 2 of those 3 in the win column, if not all 3 of them. But they're sitting at 3-1-3 overall right now, 1-1-0 when they play at home, and 2-0-3 on the road. All 3 of those ties came on a road or neutral field, and then 1-1-3 again. Once again, all 3 of those ties coming against EDC opponents, which really hurts them in the standings. We'll see how the other teams do, and maybe that'll help out the Packers to move up a little bit here. But they got. Let's see here. The Eagles tonight, they tied 0-0 against Red River on Tuesday. They tied 1-1 against the Deacons back on August 27th. And then on August 22nd, they would tie 0-0 with their rivals from the south here, the Cheyenne Mustangs. And then they also had the 2-0 win and the 2-1 win over Bismarck and Minot, the 3-1 loss to the Grand Forks Central Knights, a game we had for you here on the ND Sports Channel. That game's available for a 24/7 replay. And then also the 3-0 win over the Fargo North Spartans. That 3-0 loss for the Spartans against the Packers was the last time that they didn't lose a game by the score of 3-0. And until last Tuesday's game where they lost 5-1, every loss to an EDC opponent was 3-0 prior to that for the Fargo North Spartans. So once again, the Packers coming into this one with a 1-1-3 EDC record, 3-1-3 overall. They've scored 9, they've allowed 5 on the season. Taking a look at the standings here for the EDC. Fargo Davies, with the result of the Mustang win over the Knights, bumps up to the #1 spot thanks to the tie. They get that 1-point edge, 13-12 over the Knights, pushing the Knights down into second place. And then Fargo South holding at number 3, and then the Mustangs holding at number 4. They're up 1 from last week as they flip-flop with the Packers, who drop to 5 with 6 points in the EDC. Over on the west side of the state, Bismarck High leads the way with 10 points, followed by their rivals from the north, the Century Patriots and the Legacy Sabres. 2 and 3, both with 9 points each, as well as the Jamestown Blue Jays have 9 points on the season. And then Minot, Mandan, and Williston round out the 5, 6, and 7 spots for the WDA in boys soccer this year. Taking a look at some of the other games being played tonight, you got Fargo South at Grand Forks Central up at Cushman Field. Red River is at Fargo South taking on the Spartans. And then Cheyenne and Shanley, they'll be live on Shanley TV. We'll have live look-ins at that game throughout the duration of this one here. And then over on the west side of the state, Minot is in Mandan taking on the Braves. And the Sabres are in Bismarck taking on the Demons. Those two set for 7:30 p.m. kickoff. So we'll get to the starting lineups right now.
17, Muhammad Ali. And on defense, number 20.
I did not get the starters for West Fargo, but I can tell you for Fargo Davies, we Jensen Waltz in goal. Then Jonas Adams, Jack Anderson, Eric Byminiana, Sushan Rai, Max Pritchard, Caleb Glover, Yannick Vitter, Skylar Smaby, Mohammed Ali, and Ryder Schmidt. And here's your West Fargo Packers stars. We'll get them as they are announced.
Goalkeeper tonight is number 1, Samuel Kasimbo. On defense, number 4, Yuma Kabala. Midfielder number 5, Ashish Magar. On defense number 7, Om Dahal. On defense number 9, Sabiti Mauricio. Midfielder number 10, Nurdeen Musa. Forward number 11, Mason Wenninger. On defense number 14, Birha Tamang. Midfielder number 17, Kishore Rai. Midfielder number 18, Logan Hager. And midfielder number 23, George Reed. The Packers are coached by head coach James Moe. He's assisted by George Gald, Nathan Sample, Matt Prokniak, and Jackson Denor. The officials for tonight's
All right, so in goal once again here for the West Fargo Packers is Samuel Kasembio. Then you got Yuma Kabala, Ashish Magar, Om Dahal, Sabiti Mauricio, Nurdeen Musa, Mason Wenninger, and then Birka Tamang, Kishore Rai, and Logan Hager, and then George Reeves will round out your starters for the West Fargo Packers. We'll take a break for the national anthem. Be back in the moment here with your opening kick right around the corner on the ND Sports Channel.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level of my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota softball. All right, welcome back here, West Fargo High School for the Fargo Davies Eagles and the West Fargo Packers. Packers in their green jerseys with white numbers, and they'll be moving from left to right as I see it on my screen, and as you see it on your screen as well. And then Fargo Davies in their white jerseys with red numbers outlined and a goldish yellow, moving from right to left. Once again, in goal for the Davies Eagles is Jensen Waltz, and then you got Samuel Casembio in goal here for the West Fargo Packers. As Muhammad Ali, we have to get used to the white jerseys here. We're used to seeing the Davies Eagles in red. So the numbers will remain the same. The players will look the same, but we'll get it down in the first couple minutes here. Got to start our clock. We'll make an adjustment there really quick. All right, and there you go. 38-52 is the right free kick there for the Eagles. Came in towards Muhammad Ali. Be touched up there by Kishar Rai. Davies Eagles will send it back in. It's Eric Baiminiana here on the near sideline. Trying to get around, that is Yuma Kabala. Guard the man on Baiminiana there. The ball will come back out and touched up there on the foot of Kishar Rai. Rai will get it over to Logan Hager. Over to the far sideline. Drop pass there to Biraka Tamang. And now the Eagles will intercept it there. They get it onto the foot of Ali, but Ali loses it right away. I believe that might be Shushan Rai on the far side there. Peek through the binoculars. And check that. It was actually Pablo Nunez, number 10 for the Fargo Davies Eagles, unless they switched jersey numbers on me again. I don't think I did, but... .37:40 to go here in the first half of play. Once again, the Packers won the junior varsity game by the score of 3-1. And a whistle here and a free kick on the horizon for the Packers. A little over 37 minutes remaining here. Still no shots on net for either team. Lining up to take that free kick will be Logan Hager. No, I guess not. Logan Hager will step away from it here. Let his teammate pick it up. That'll be off the foot of Yuma Kabala, and that will go out of bounds, and we'll have another whistle here. And another free kick from the Packers. This one from approximately, I believe it's going to be a free kick anyway. We'll wait a moment here. Looks like it'll be a corner kick instead. So corner kick for the Packers, and they won't waste any time putting that ball into play. The centering pass is blocked there by Nunez on the far side. Now it comes back in, and that one will go just a little bit wide of the near post here. Once again, in goal is Jensen Waltz. And of course, you can text us at 701-373-1843. Say hi, we'll say hi back to you as Waltz will boot that one just shy of midfield. Initial touch up there by the Packers. They try and send it near side, but it's booted out by Yannick Vetter. That'll be touched up there by Mason Weniger. Weniger will try and advance it up, come back out. Davies Eagles will pop it out. Jack Anderson touched up on that one to boot it out to the far side where the Packers will get the throw in. battle for the ball over there on the far side. Jonas Adams battling for it in there, and is initially touched up and taken away there by Skylar Smaby. Now comes back up top by Miniana. We'll see that one boot out of bounds, and that should be an Eagle Packer throw-in. Once again, if you're used to seeing yellow lines on a soccer field, the black lines represent out of bounds in midfield here at the West Fargo turf field. I like it. It took some getting used to on the first game we did here, but I like it. I like how it looks. It's a fantastic field here at West Fargo High School. Looking forward to do some football games here in the near future as well. A little over 34 and a half minutes to go. One shot on net in favor of the Packers. Eagles battle for the ball here. I believe that's Jonas Adams, and it is. Adams will see the ball taken away there from Nurdine Musa, excuse me. A couple of touches later. Looks like by Miniana's touch, trying to get up on it there, and it'll be off the foot of Max Pritchard, out of bounds for the Packer throw-in. Yuma Kabala, the junior defender, will throw it in from just this side of midfield, over midfield, and the Packers will boot it up. And Jensen Waltz will come out and get it off a couple of hops with 34 minutes to go here in the first half. No score here in this Eastern Dakota Conference Boys High School Soccer matchup between the Fargo Davies Eagles and the West Fargo Packers. As Muhammad Ali will have the ball, and he maybe tripped over Jonas Adams, and now the Packers are coming away with it there. That was Mason Weniger. And now over on the far side there for West Fargo, it's Enoch Gardy into the lineup. Let me take a peek through the binoculars. And it is, no, I'm sorry, that's number 8. No, it is number 6. It is Enoch Gardy.
Enoch Gardy in for the Packers.
And we just got confirmation of that. So it is indeed Enoch Gardy. Enoch is a senior midfielder for West Fargo this year. Called his name a handful of times in some soccer games last season for West Fargo as well. As Waltz will pound that one out near sideline, out of bounds for a Packer throw-in. 33 minutes to go here in the first half of play. Coming up tomorrow here on the Andy Sports Channel, it's the number 1 team after week 2 out of the West, and the number 1 team as of week 2 out of the East in a Class AAA 11-man football matchup between the Fargo South Bruins hosting the Bismarck Legacy Sabres. Kickoff for that one is set for 7:30 p.m. We'd love to have you join us here on the Andy Sports Channel. Nice shot on goal there off the foot of Nurdine Musa, and that one will go a little bit wide and result in a goal kick here for Waltz. Jensen Waltz, a junior goalkeeper. More than likely we'll see him next season for the Davies Eagles as well. Waltz will get a nice foot on that one, boot it just shy of midfield. Over to the far side there, Jonas Adams touches up on it, but it's immediately taken away there by West Fargo. And then Jonas Adams gets back in and takes it away himself. Ball comes loose to Bai Miniana here on the near sideline. Miniana tried to advance it up towards Muhammad Ali, but it went a little bit too far. Scooping it up there is Nurdine Musa for the Packers. And now Jonas Adams will try and poke it down, and there will be a little pushing and shoving there. I believe George Reeves is going to get called for the foul, and that'll be a free kick here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. 31-40 and counting to go here in the first half. Ryder Schmidt will line up for the free kick here. Just a little bit over 50 yards from the goal. Get it onto the foot of Jonas Adams, who puts a shot on net, but it's blocked there on its way to the net, and I couldn't quite catch the jersey number on that one there. But a couple touches later, it's picked up by Kishar Rai. Rai will have it taken away, and a loose ball at midfield will be touched up on there by the Packers. That is Biraka Tamang. Muhammad Ali was the closest Eagle on that pass attempt that was stolen away there by the Packers. Packers seem to have the momentum early on here, even though we still are at a 0-0 score. 10 minutes in, Fargo Davies scored 2 goals in the first 2 minutes on Tuesday night against the Fargo North Spartans to take a quick and sudden 2-0 lead. Not going to happen here tonight, at least not in the first 10 minutes anyway. Whistle on the far side will result in a throw-in here. Plus, we have a substitution. And coming in for West Fargo is number 1, I think. And I don't have number 1 on my roster. Unless
Ashish Magar back in for West Fargo.
a little over 30 minutes to go. Maybe I misread the jersey number there. Oh. It might have been number 10. If it was Nordine Musa. Up the near side here. That'll be intercepted. Back the other way for the Packers is George Reeves. Ball will go out of bounds. They'll say that's an Eagles throw in. They'll get it up towards Baiminiana, but Baiminiana will be met up there by Yuma Kabbalah. And now battle for the ball here, and Jonas Adams will take it away from George Reeves, but then getting in there is Kabbalah, and now we have a whistle and a verbal warning here, and a free kick for the Fargo Davies Eagles. 29-20 and counting to go here first half. Eagles still looking for their first shot on goal. Ryder Schmidt from about 49 yards, 54 yards away from the net. We'll put it inside of the box in the direction of Baiminiana, and it gets booted out of there by the West Fargo Packers. And touching up on the ball is George Reeves. Battling for it, though, for Fargo Davies is Yannick Vetter. And now Muhammad Ali will scoot up to it out here on the near sideline, drop it back to Jonas Adams. Adams with the centering pass in the direction of Baiminiana. The ball gets popped up into the air. Baiminiana will try and head it in, but it comes right back out, and it'll be picked up in the backfield there by Max Pritchard. Pritchard will try and get it over far side, and now the Packers appear to pick up that ball, and the Davies Eagles will get it right back. 28-27 and counting to go here, first half of play. Over on the far side there, that's Amd Hall, a junior defenseman for the Packers. And now Jonas Adams from about midfield. Tried to center it in, but it was immediately taken away there by the West Fargo Packers, Nordine Musa. And Nordine Musa brought it upfield and had it taken away himself. Now Baiminiano will touch up on the ball, bring it over midfield. Centering pass right to the Packers. No Eagles there. I think he was thinking that Jonas Adams was going to be there, but he wasn't on that particular occasion. 27:55 to go. Nice defensive battle here between both teams here in the early parts of this first half. Speed of this game is definitely up. The energy level is definitely up. Over on the far side, ball will be poked around. The Packers will pick it up. Try and get a centering pass there. I believe that's Mason Weniger, and I just had to walk around the window frame. I didn't see what happened there, but we have a whistle and a free kick for West Fargo. Logan Hager will set up for the free kick here from about 39 yards away from the net. Hager will put that one up high and just over the head of Nordine Musa. And out of bounds for a goal kick for Jensen Waltz. So Fargo Davies Eagles here off this goal kick would love to maybe get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of that West Fargo momentum taken away from them. A little over 26 minutes to go. And that was an opportunity there for, I believe that was Pablo Nunez. Let me take a peek through the binoculars here. And it was Nunez. Jensen Waltz in goal for the Fargo Davies Eagles. There's a shot from Muhammad Ali, and it goes a little bit wide. As I was about to mention, Jensen Waltz for the Eagles in 4 EDC matchups out of 5 because he was injured in that game against West Fargo Cheyenne, so he did not play goalie. in that particular game. But in all the other games, he has started in goal, and he's only given up that one goal, and that was the Caden Headley goal for Fargo North. Outside of that, he has shut out all his other opponents, and this will be his 5th EDC start in this particular game here with the West Fargo Packers. State Championship rematch number 1 of 2. The second one coming up later this month. I believe the date is September 26th, if I'm trying to pull that from memory off the top of my head. Fargo Davies defeated Fargo South 1-0. That was one of the shutouts for Waltz. And then 3-0 win over the Shanley Deacons was the second shutout. And then the 0-0 tie with Red River. And then the only goal he gave up in an EDC was that Caden Headley goal in the 5-1 win over the Fargo North Spartans, the game we had for you this past Tuesday on the ND Sports Channel. 24-31 and counting to go here in the first half of play. Pablo Nunez over on the far side there trying to break through a couple defenders, but he won't do so successfully that time around. Wenninger battling for the ball, far side, and I want to say there was Smaby on the far side breaking that one up. Once again, West Fargo doing a great job of trying to put some offensive pressure on this side of the 50-yard line here for West Fargo. But Fargo Davies doing nearly as equally as an impressive job not letting West Fargo getting too close to the net there. Those opportunities get taken away once West Fargo gets within about 30-40 yards of the goal. For the most part, they do have a couple shots on goal, 2-1 in favor of the Packers, according to my unofficial numbers here. And Waltz will scoop that one up. 3-1 Packers on the shots on net. Nice boot there from Waltz. That'll drop right on the midfield stripe. And Jonas Adams battling in there along with a couple Packers. Loose ball to the far sideline. Smaby racing for it. Also, I believe that's Gardy on the far side. And let's see here. Or maybe it's Magar. It's either 6 or 5. Can't quite see from my vantage point on the far side there. Ball will come up towards the near sideline, and they tried to clear that one away, but it came off his foot wrong, go out of bounds for an Eagles throw-in. That is Kanye Billups kind of wrestling, and now he's grabbing, and we'll see here. That's going to be a free kick for Fargo, or for West Fargo. A little too much contact there from Billups. Maybe some of that may have been allowed, but if you would have let go right away, play may have continued. But that will draw the whistle 9 times out of 10, that's for sure. And now they're going to call offsides. The flag came up as getting in front of that last defender before the ball came to him was Enoch Gardy. Now result in a whistle and an offside call. And set up a kick here. And it looks like Jensen Waltz will set up to take that kick from deep in the near corner. Well, maybe 2-3 yards away from the back line there. And he'll boot it up near sideline there, and it's touched up by the Packers, Kishar Rai. Out of bounds, throw in, goes in the direction of Billups. Billups also in there is Carlos Dixon, now number 7 for the Fargo Davies Eagles. He's got the green shoes. Billups with the orange shoes, Dixon with the green shoes, and Jonas Adams with the yellow shoes, if you can remember that. I don't even know if I can, but now you know. Well, push from behind there. Maybe got away with one. I believe, I can't see the jersey number. I believe that was Ashish Magar with the push there. But he got away with it. No call. Play will continue. Ball along the far sideline there. Packers trying to bring it up. Nice defensive play there by, I want to say that was Logan Hammer, maybe? Let me take a peek through the binoculars. No, Skylar Smaby, actually. Okay, I want to make one more correction. It was Caleb Glover who made that nice defensive slide there to keep the ball from advancing upfield. So a short pause in play here with stop our clock here for a moment as we're a few seconds off. 1912, 1911, 1910, and that shot is just up over the top of the crossbar. And now we'll start a clock. Collision here at the near side between Kanye Billups as well as, I didn't see the jersey number, is Kishar Rai on the near sideline. Now Ryder Schmidt will boot it up. Two-on-one in favor of the Eagles at the moment there, as the Packer fans getting a little into it there, at least in my headset it's loud. It's loud. Just a little over 18 minutes to go here in the first half of play. And we're still scoreless between the Packers and the Eagles. Here in the EDC boys soccer matchup, Fargo Davies, currently number 1, thanks to the Cheyenne Mustangs, who knocked off the Grand Forks Central Knights on Tuesday 1-0. And with the tie that Fargo Davies has, that gives them the extra 1 point to give them the 1 point edge over Grand Forks Central and puts Fargo Davies presently in the number 1 spot in the EDC. 17-20. Billups touched up on it and it'll go out of bounds there, and that will be a goal kick here for West Fargo. So a little over 16 and a half to go here in the first half. A couple more shots on goal. Pulls the Eagles unofficially within 1, 4-3 in favor of the Packers on shots on net, but we're still scoreless, and the stat that matters the most, you could say. That JV game will be uploaded at a later time. We had an issue with the processing on it. So we do have a recording of the JV game, and we'll upload that one to our YouTube channel here at some point later tonight after the conclusion of our varsity broadcast. The processing was causing video issues on the varsity matchup, and that's why we stopped it. I physically stopped it on my end. So we'll have to wait a little bit on that JV game just so to make sure that the varsity game could continue at the best possible quality here. 15 and just a little over 15 and a half. 15:40-ish. I believe I saw the flag point down. That should be a corner kick for Fargo Davies. Looks like Jonas Adams is going to trot out there to set up for the corner kick on the far side, and that is indeed Jonas Adams out there. And over near side here, did they stop the clock? No, they did not. It was Nurdine Musa having an intense discussion with the official, as Jonas Adams will get the ball right back after it's headed out. Now he try another centering pass. Now, in fact, that goes on goal, and now both teams have 4 shots on net. That was probably one of the better scoring opportunities here for the Eagles so far in this matchup. Back to the near side now, Keyshawn Rye battling with Jonas Adams, comes off his foot. That's Winiger. Winiger gets around a defender, puts up a shot up high over the crossbar for another goal kick here for Jensen Waltz and the Eagles. 14 and a half to go. That one will pop out of bounds here. Kanye Billups tried to work it up the near sideline there to buy Miniana. Oh, no, check that. That's Carlos Dixon, excuse me. But it got deflected, and Dixon did touch up on it for a moment, but now a loose ball in the center of the field here. Looks like the Eagles will have the opportunity, and as soon as I say that, the Packers touch up on it. Hall, a junior defenseman, on the ball right now, and he'll lose it, and nearly getting tripped up there, and Jonas Adams will pop it free up to Billups, and now a whistle and a free kick for West Fargo. Comes with about 13:20 to go here in the first half. Two 0 West Fargo Cheyenne leading Fargo Shanley here. We'll take a live look in at that game in a moment here, as we've been meaning to do that, and we just haven't done that yet. So, and there's a little pushing and shoving, and if he does that again, I wouldn't be surprised if the yellow card comes out, but this time it'll just be a warning. And there it is, the live feed thanks to Shanley TV. Cheyenne leading 2-0 with about 18 minutes left in the first half. Here it's 0-0 with about 12 minutes remaining in the first half.
Hussein Osman in for the Pack.
All right, so we made an adjustment there. Let's go back just to make sure that's working correctly. There we go. That's how it should have looked last time. So 2-0 with about 17 minutes remaining in that game there. Back to live action here once again. 0-0. Jonas Adams along the near sideline. And the ball will get booted over the back line for West Fargo goal kick. We started this game out with a little bit of sun, but now the clouds are rolling in from the north. And with the exception of about the 20 or so yards on the right-hand side of the field here, this is for the most part covered in, or I should say 20 or so yards on the left-hand side of the field, covered in clouds. Only a little bit of sun peeking out down there by the West Fargo goalie. Okay, so let's see here. We'll have to find out who number 10 is for Fargo Davies. It is not Pablo Nunez like we originally thought. So as soon as we find that out, we will make the correction on our roster here. Throw in for the West Fargo Packers. And I believe, well, let's take a peek through the binoculars to be sure. Yep, it was indeed Jonas Adams. I'm not used to him being that far back. Adams usually playing the midfielder who is more of a forward than he is a defenseman at that midfield position, but he was all the way back there this time around. Dixon gets it there to Billups. Billups battling for it. Muhammad Ali in on that action too, trying to get around 3 or 4 Packer defenders there, and well, one of those 4 eventually came up with the ball. And that's Enoch Gardy with the orange shoes there, number 6 for the Packers. Centering it in, and right along the back line there, not able to control it, was George Reeves, the senior midfielder.
Back in for Davies, Eric Vamenumana, Max Pritchard.
Okay, so Shushan Rai is number 10 tonight instead of
Carlos Perez.
Pablo Nunez, excuse me. So Shushan Rai, normally number 6. He is wearing number 10 tonight. We want to thank the viewer who sent that information into us. And a free kick here for Fargo Davies.
Nunez, number 10 in for Davies.
So it's by Miniana touched up on it, and now the ball will fly to the other end of the field. 8-8-17, and did I say 8-8-17? That's because it went from 8-18 to 8-17, right as I was saying it there, but now we can say 8-10 and counting to go here in the first half. It's a good game. You don't have any goals scored in it yet, but it's still a fast-paced back and forth game here. Type of soccer game you'd like to see in every soccer game that we broadcast. And Jonas Adams holding his left ankle there, and it looked like it got twisted pretty significantly. Hopefully he will be okay. We're going to take a timeout and be back here in a moment or two if we can find the right button to push. Let's take a live look in actually at Shanley. Now Cheyenne leads 3-0. So during the injury timeout here, we'll make an adjustment to our clock as they allowed that clock to tick down to all the way to 37. All right, so that's the correct time. So once again, they're attending to Jonas Adams right now on the near sideline. He's just under. I guess he is just on camera there, right by the midfield flag. And we'll take a look at that live feed courtesy of Shanley TV and their ShanleyTV.com and the Shanley TV YouTube channel. The good news is Jonas Adams just hopped up and he's walking off with no assistance. So once again, the Cheyenne Mustangs leading the Shanley Deacons 3-0 with just shy of 13 minutes to go in the first half there. As once again, we are currently in a short pause due to an injury for Jonas Adams, who's about halfway off the field here. It does appear that he'll be okay. I don't think it's anything significant. It kind of looked worse than it probably was initially. So he reached down to that left ankle, and by the moment he reached down to it, it was twisted in a way that it should not be twisted.
Ashish Magar and Logan Hager.
All right, so 12 minutes to go. Cheyenne leads 3-0. We'll come back to that game momentarily here as we're back to live action here at West Fargo High School between the Eagles and the Packers. No score. Shots on net favor the Packers 5-4 with a little shy of 7.5 to go. And if we would have started our clock when the game started, that would have been accurate here. All right, so almost 7 minutes now. That's the correct time. That just popped up on your screen there. Once again, Mike Mason with you here from West Fargo High School. Janice working the cameras, doing an outstanding job. Certainly appreciate her efforts here. She's done a lot of our soccer. Matter of fact, she's done all of our soccer games this year. And despite that first one we did here between the Packers and the Grand Forks Central Knights, that was not her fault. That was just an experiment that went wrong. So we're going to hold off on that experiment for a later date and go back to what we're used to. But yeah, outside of that, it's been a fantastic. Of course, you know, things always look better when you have a brand new field on your high definition camera too. So. The only thing I'm going to miss about the Loden Center in West Fargo is the opportunity to do back-to-back games featuring the Packers and Mustangs. Now I have to choose which game we put on the schedule instead of just putting both games on the schedule. Of course, West Fargo Cheyenne has their turf field now, and if you hadn't heard, announcement was made last night that Fargo Davies High School had a press conference this morning to discuss a $1.4 million fundraiser to bring a turf field down to Fargo Davies. So not only is that just going to be simply awesome for Fargo Davies High School, but that is going to be a spring sports dream come true, as it seems like turf fields are the only fields that we can play on in the month of April, because they're easy to get snow removal done on compared to a grass field. So Fargo South, more on that in a moment here, unless the Packers clear it, and they will. So Fargo South gets the turf field last year. And then West Fargo and West Fargo Cheyenne get their turf fields this year, as they'll feed it in there, and that's booted away there by West Fargo's Sabiti Mauricio, there we go. And then Fargo North will have their turf field here in the next handful of weeks. And now in the near future, Fargo Davies. So all the Fargo and West Fargo schools will have turf fields. Moorhead has a turf field. We have some North Dakota games over on against the Spuds throughout the various sports seasons. And then Central Cass, just about a 20-minute drive down the road here with a turf field of their own. That's really going to open up some of those issues we have with rescheduling and canceling of spring events due to snow. And so that's Muhammad Ali with the free kick, a low free kick, and that's immediately touched up and cleared, and then somehow Muhammad Ali got in there to smack it back in, and the ball will ricochet around like inside of a pinball machine over to the far sideline, and it'll eventually end up being a Fargo Davies throw-in.
Jonas Adams returning to the field for the Eagles.
Jonas Adams is back. That is awesome. We're glad to see that he is okay. .3:17 and counting to go here in the first half. We're still scoreless between the Packers and the Eagles. Packers are used to having ties. The Eagles have only had one this year. And that was that 0-0 tie against Grand Forks Red River. A little over a week or so ago. It was only 2 or 3 games ago that 0-0 tie happened with the Rough Riders. So now we're just under the 3-minute mark here in the first half. Jonas Adams will drop it back. That's onto the foot of Max Pritchard. And I looked away for a split second. That one apparently went towards the goal, and someone got a foot on it. by Miniana trying to slide in there. Ooh, and a push from behind and a whistle. Free kick. That was definitely a foul. There's no doubt about that one. Well, I will say this. This is based off observations over all the soccer games we've done here in the fall sports season. But this one between the Packers and the Eagles is the most physical. Adams with a shot off the crossbar, and then the follow-up goes up and over. Golden opportunity there, and it just couldn't quite knock it in. It will result in a goal kick for the Packers. And if you didn't know the Fargo Davies fans were here before, you did on that play. Muhammad Ali, nice backheel kick pass there from Jonas Adams over to, I believe that's by Miniana on the near side here. Gets it back into Ali. Ali getting pushed around, trying to get around a few defenders. And now by Miniana. Tried the centering pass, but it went off the neck there of Hussein Osman. So corner kick here from the near side. And that is Shushan Rai who took the corner kick. Ali shot, and that was deflected off the right foot, excuse me, of Samuel Kasimbo. And now it'll go out of bounds here, and I believe that came on the near side of the flag, closest to me, and if that's the case, it'll be a throw-in for the Eagles, and it is. So the throw-in will come in the direction there of Shushan Rai. Now Jack Anderson touched up on it, gets it to Jonas Adams. Adams cutting through defenders, a two-hopper into the hands of Kasimbo. And the Eagles putting some offensive pressure on here in the last couple of minutes of the half. 18 seconds to go. Maybe one last chance for West Fargo. Shot is up and high over the far side. And that will bring us to halftime here in 2-1. And we are scoreless at the half. Some exciting moments there towards the end of that first half, but nothing in net yet for either team. We'll take a timeout. Be back in a moment here on the ND Sports Channel with a halftime show right after this.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level of my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
All right, welcome back here. We're at halftime with about 4 minutes before we kick off the second half here. Also want to thank all the Vikings fans who are watching this game tonight who do not care about the Bears and the Packers. And if you're just joining us on the moment that I said do not care about the Packers, I'm referring to the NFL game between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. 3-0 Bears up on the Packers with about 4 minutes left in the first quarter on that one. Let's go ahead and take a look at the live looking at Shanley. They're at halftime now with about 8 minutes, and West Fargo Cheyenne Mustangs lead the Shanley Deacons 3-0. That live feed look in courtesy of ShanleyTV.com and the Shanley TV YouTube channel. We certainly appreciate them giving us the permission to check in on them from time to time, and we'll do so as well throughout the second half of this game. We'll check in periodically with that live feed as well. Looks like they're a couple minutes behind us here. We got about 3 minutes left of halftime. They got about 7 minutes, so they're going to be about 4 minutes behind. So our game will more than likely go final before the Cheyenne-Shanley game goes final. If you have any other scores from any of the other games in the EDC or WDA being played tonight, I know we got a couple out on the west side of the state. that kicked off at 7:30. So those two games are probably nearing halftime as we speak here. And if you have any scores from those games or any of the other East games, we would certainly take those. That's 701-373-1843. Also, if you have it saved in your phone as 1873, we found out last Friday during the football game that somebody in Jamestown has that 73 number. So please update that in your phone to 1843 so that the poor individual in Jamestown gets only the text that he wants to get. So we'll put it that way. We'll take another quick break here. In 2 minutes from now, we'll have the second half coming up for you here between the Fargo Davies Eagles. I almost said Fargo Shanley because that's up on my screen right now. Fargo Davies Eagles and the West Fargo Packers. 0-0 shots on net in favor of the Eagles, 7-6. Back in a moment here on the ND Sports Channel with the second half right after this.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
All right, welcome back here as we get ready for the second half of action. It's about 1 second away. And now the clock hits 0, and we're ready to go. West Fargo Packers once again in their green jerseys with white numbers. They'll be moving from right to left here in the second half, while the Fargo Davies Eagles in their white jerseys with red numbers, or maroonish red, I should say, moving from left to right in the second half here. Still no score. Eagles got a bunch of offensive momentum in the final 90 seconds or so of that first half. Prior to that, they West Fargo Packers had the edge on shots on net, but Fargo Davies came very close. They had one that hit the crossbar, and then off the rebound, they put it up a little bit high over the crossbar. That was the best opportunity of the game for either team in this matchup so far. So once again, we need to start the clock. That's something we need to get used to here.
I'm excited to go to the I'm actually.
There we go. Now it's right within about a half a second. Ball come near side here. Packers will pick it up. Trying a nice footwork there to try and get it through, and that will go onto the foot there of, I believe that's Hussein Osman. I believe he has, or it's, let me take a peek through the binoculars here. No, that's number 6, not number 8. That is Enoch Gardy. So throwing from the far side here for the Packers. Throwing will come in and it'll drop right in the inside the 6 there. And a battle for it, and still battling for it. It looks like Ali will touch up on it, send it back out of bounds for another Packers throwing. Called that whole series of the last 10 seconds looking through the binoculars. And that was headed away there by Caleb Glover. And now it'll be swallowed up by Casembio, or check that. Wrong, I was looking at the wrong roster there. Fargo Davies goalie, not Casembio, who's the West Fargo goalie. My bad. Nice clear on the defense there, but I believe that was Smaby who cleared it. Beyond by Miniana, and Muhammad Ali will touch up on it, and on the ricochet, I believe it went off Ali's foot for a Packer throw-in. 37-27 and counting, second half of play. Shots on net, 7-6 in favor of the Eagles, 0-0 here in the second half. They'll drop it back, and that'll be fired away there by Waltz. Picking it up for the Packers here, Sabidi Mauricio. And that's Ali. Ali will spin around, set it up. Tried to flip it there to, I believe that was Pritchard, and Packers will pick it up. Now the Packers put a shot on net, but blocking it there, a double block. Back-to-back blocks there thanks to the great positioning of Jack Anderson. A little under 36 and a half to go here, and still no score. Last time these two teams played, it was in the state championship game up in Grand Forks at Cushman Field in mid-October. And this game was 0-0 until about 2 minutes left in the second half, when the Packers would put in the goal and end up winning the state title. In the regular season last year, these two teams tied in both of their 2018 regular season meetings. The tie in that second game actually went in favor of Fargo Davies, as West Fargo had to get the win in that game to take the #1 seed into the state tournament, but they would not. Fargo Davies would get the tie and secure that #1 seed out of the EDC for the state tournament. But it didn't matter, as the Packers would go on to win that state championship anyway. Once again, rematch 1 of 2. The next one coming up later this month, I believe it's September 26th, if I recall correctly from memory. At last check, it was nearing the end of the first quarter in the NFL debut of the regular season. The Bears were leading the Packers 3-0. I want to say hi to June, who's watching tonight. At least I believe she is. She has the TV on. She's on the treadmill working out, as just like the soccer players on the field are working out. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate that. Ouch. He got stunned there. There's no doubt about it. There's Eric by Miniana, and they will stop the clock to check up on Eric here. And they will send him out. I believe it's nothing more than to just make sure that he's okay. He might go through a concussion protocol, because that ball smacked him in the head really, really hard. You might want to, if you don't want to watch the entire junior varsity game, I believe it was in the second half. You can fast forward it once it's available on our YouTube channel. The Fargo Davies goalie, trying to recall his name off the top of my head here. Pedro Hernandez. He saved a shot on goal unintentionally as the shot was taken, and it smacked right off the head of Hernandez at the goal there. And the whistle will start, and we will start our clock now. We're within about a second, because we were off a little bit on stopping the clock earlier. believe that's all Lee who touched up on the ball. Tried to turn around on the shot there, but it was immediately deflected by the West Fargo defender out of bounds, and the Eagles will chase that one down for a throw-in from the far sideline. Making the throw-in was Yannick Vetter. And now Smaby is battling there with Magar. And coming down the near sideline, Smaby will take it away, and then he gets pushed off the ball there by Tamang. And there's a shot and one hop into the hands of Waltz. Once again, Waltz has not given up a goal to an EDC opponent, with the exception of that goal that Fargo North scored. And he's come close a couple times to giving one up here, but he hasn't done it yet. So far, so good if you're a Fargo Davies fan. Let's go ahead and take a peek at Shanley TV. They have now started the second half there. And it's still 3-0 Mustangs over the Deacons. That feed, courtesy of ShanleyTV.com and the Shanley TV YouTube channel. As we have a throw-in from the far side here for Fargo Davies. We'll check in on that one once again here in a few minutes and see how that game is coming along. Right now, 0-0 between the Davies Eagles and the West Fargo Packers. Shots on net in favor of the Eagles by 1, 7-6. Ball will come in, and Ali, I think...
Returning for the Eagles, Eric Biminiana and Ryder Schmidt.
Eric Biminiana back into the lineup. I didn't hear the second player, but there's a second player in for the Eagles as well now. I was saying this in the first half, but I don't think I got to finish what I was saying because of that near goal that came off the crossbar and towards the end of that first half there. But it was based on observation on all the soccer games that we've done this year, that this is the most physical game between these two teams here. A lot of pushing, a lot of, and most of it is legal action too. It's not like a lot of fouls, but I mean, a lot of aggressive play here from both teams trying to get possession of that ball, and not much of it has turned into any whistles or fouls or anything like that. It's been all clean play for the most part. But definitely one of the most physical games this year that we've called between the Packers and the Eagles here. Racing down near side at Shushan Rai. He'll watch that one go out of bounds. A little over 31 minutes to go here in the second half of play.
George Reeves returning for the Packers.
.31 minutes to go. That's Biminiana on the far side there, and picking it up, taking a peek through the binoculars, which are blurry at the moment. It was Caleb Glover. And now Glover will touch up on the ball again, and it's immediately taken away by the Packers. Packers will get it up there to Gardy. Loose ball comes loose, and now Gardy over on the far side, looking to center it, but the Eagles are right there to take it away. Battle for the ball there, coming away with it is Wenninger. Wenninger with a shot on goal, and Waltz with a diving save. Nice job there by Waltz, and also a nice shot there by Wenninger. 30-15 and counting to go here in the second half. 30-15 and counting. As the clouds start to roll in and the sun goes away and the lights come on at the field here. George Reeves on the near side. Now they'll get it to Shushan Rai, and Rai gets tripped up. Ball goes out of bounds. Throwing is headed right back out of bounds. Almost came into the fan section here, but bounced off the green padding on the top of the fence. Just cracked the 30-minute mark now. Smaby will toss it in for Jonas Adams. Adams will put it onto the foot of Shushan Rai. Rai will get the centering pass in there, and trying to get through the defenders is Muhammad Ali. Ali falls down at the 10-yard line, and he's not getting up. And here's Smaby now. Schmaby, ooh, Schmaby got tripped up. I believe that was Jonas Adams on the shot, and now we have a whistle. And once again, Ali slow to get up. I'm not 100% convinced that he was in serious danger there, to be honest with you. Seen him try and sell a few before. Fargo South leads Grand Forks Central by the score of 3-1. That one comes as a little bit of a surprise to me. I believe that one's being played up in Grand Forks. It is, actually, because Fargo North has their home game tonight at Fargo South. So yeah, Fargo South is up at Cushman Field, and they lead the Knights 3-1. Thank you for that score update. Certainly appreciate that. So the Packers and Eagles continuing to battle here. Enoch Gardy will try and tip it to George Reeves. Reeves will punch it into the near sideline here. Gardy will chase after it, but it'll get out of bounds first. So now Shushan Rai along the near sideline. Oh, there's another black line there for the. My vision was partially blocked, so I thought that was still in bounds, but I was incorrect. Enoch Gardy will chase it down along the near sideline. Be poked out of bounds there by Jack Anderson. It'll remain Packer ball. 27.5 to go here in the second half of play. Taking the toss is Birka Tamang. And Tamang will wind up, throw it in right to Gardy. Gardy back to Tamang. Tamang looking for a centering pass. He puts it up. It's headed out there by, I can't see who that is off the top of my head. It's Jonas Adams. Without the binoculars, I was not able to see that one. And Gardy will get it towards the goal, but it'll be a slow roller that's easy for Jensen to pick up. Jensen will boot that one away towards the far sideline over midfield. Ali got in there, and now Jonas Adams battling for it. Ali's going to battle for it once again. That one get popped up here near sideline, and George Reeves will catch it off the bounce out of bounds. Hand it off to Smaby for the toss. Smaby just behind our score graphic there at the bottom of your screen, getting ready to toss it in from about 50 yards away from the goal. Smaby gets it into Adams. Adams being guarded there by Tamang. Now back to Smaby. Smaby will drop it back to Jack Anderson. Anderson across midfield, sends the through ball up right to a Packer defender who boots it back down to the other end of the field. And I can't pronounce that name, but whoever just subscribed to our YouTube channel, thank you. Alert just came in. Wanted to give credit the best I was able to.
In for Davies.
Collision there between Smaby. Smaby wanted the official to call something there, but the official's going to let the play continue. And we do have a Packer on the ground. I can't see the jersey number on that Packer right now. And now we'll have a stop in the clock. Maybe not yet. Clock will continue to roll. I have not seen a signal from the official yet to stop the clock. And now we will stop the clock. The injured Packer is Birka Tamang. Let's go ahead and take a live look in at Shanley TV here. Still 3-0 with just shy of 28 minutes to go in the second half. So Shanley might have a chance to catch up to us here on the timeout. 27:40 left in their second half, 25:03 left in our second half. As once again, it is Birka Tamang, the senior defenseman, getting some assistance off the field.
Rajabu Marishu now in for West Fargo.
He collided with Skylar Smaby. Smaby looked at the official and said, hey, are you going to call anything on that? The official said, play on. Official turned around to follow the action on the field, didn't realize that Tamang was laying on the field. And then at that next whistle, he looked back and got the heads up that he was on the field, went over to talk to him, and made the decision to stop the clock. So 25:03 is where we're at. And now we'll start again. Once again, 3-0 with just shy of 27 minutes left between the Mustangs and the Deacons. Back to live action here. Once again, 0-0. Just under 25 to go, and the Packers' Enoch Gardy on the far side there, trying to take it away. Ball goes over to the far sideline. I believe that's still Gardy with the ball. We'll take a peek through the binoculars to be sure, and I am correct. That is a Gardy. Jonas Adams touched up on it, and the whistle would blow for a Davies Eagles kick. 24-27 and counting to go here in the second half of play. Get you an update ASAP on that football game for the Vikings fans who are watching this because they don't care about that one. I know I don't care about that one, otherwise I probably wouldn't be here tonight. I'm a Vikings fan for those who don't know. I'm also a Twins fan. Twins doing pretty good this year. Only Minnesota team that I'm not a dedicated fan but will cheer for occasionally is the Minnesota Wild. I am a Colorado Avalanche fan. For those who don't like that, I apologize. 23-27 to go. Jonas Adams touched up on it. It's taken away there by George Reeves. Reeves still getting around a couple defenders. Tried the centering pass, and it was chipped away there by, I believe it might have been Jack Anderson. I can't quite see. Take a peek through the binoculars here. Yep, and it was Jack Anderson. Now Jonas Adams with kind of a karate kick there. Karate kick. Rijobo Mauricio, I believe, is how you say his name. That's number 13 for the Packers. Logan Hager now get chipped up, and Jack Anderson will come in on the header. And falling down there was Carlos Dixon. Ball will come back to the Packers as they try and advance it up, but Jack Anderson boots it over to the far sideline out of bounds for a West Fargo Packers throw in. 22-19 and counting to go here in the second half. 8-7 shots on net in favor of the Packers. Let's take a quick peek. It is still 3-0 there at Cheyenne. Looks like they're having some clarity issues on the video. We'll come back to that one in a little bit. That happens. It's nothing that they're doing wrong. It happens with us sometimes too. So. Once again, msportsnet.com. If you go under the games button, click on stream schedule, you can check out all the upcoming games here.
Now in for West Fargo, Kekleski, Bearhay.
Tomorrow, with a 7:30 p.m. kickoff, we'll have the Fargo South Bruins hosting the Bismarck Legacy Sabres in Class AAA 11-man football. As of week 2, with the Bruins win and the Sabres win, those are the #1 teams from the East and West as of week 2. So that we'll see what kind of matchup that brings tomorrow night here on the ND Sports Channel, as that one's booted out of bounds. And I believe it is on this side of the flag, so it should be a throw-in for the Eagles, and it is. And Smaby will line up to take that throw-in. So our clock's about 2 seconds off there. We'll try and make an adjustment to ASAP. And it will indeed be basically a corner throw-in, basically. Getting tripped up is Muhammad Ali and no call. And keeping it in bounds. Nice hustle there by George Reeves. And coming in from behind was Ryder Schmidt. And I am honestly stunned that they did not blow a whistle and pull a card on that one. But I'd have to look at the replay there. He may have gotten all ball, and if he did get all ball, then that was an outstanding defensive play by Ryder Schmidt. But I looked away for a split second, came back and saw what appeared to be a trip. But if I did not see it correctly, then I'm just going to go with the official saying they made the right call on that one. Another shot on net just a moment ago that went high up over the crossbar. West Fargo putting on some pressure here in the second half of the second half. Ball will go out of bounds and the Packers will get the throw in. Mauricio was going to throw it in. Now he'll toss it back to Dahal. Junior defenseman will fire it in. They'll be headed out. And now a shot will go a little bit wide there. That'll result in a goal kick here for the Fargo Davies Eagles. So chance for the Eagles, at least I think anyway. Now they're saying that the Eagles touched it last, so it'll be a corner kick for West Fargo. So I did not see a Fargo Davies player touch the ball, but we'll go with the West Fargo corner kick. Kick will come in. And it'll advance over to the far side there. And taking a peek through the binoculars. Can't quite see who that is coming up the far side there for Fargo Davies. Shushan Rai is on the far side.
Enoch Gardy back into the game. Eagles send back in Pablo Nunez and Eric Romania-Marmon.
So Eric Biminiana back into the lineup here for Fargo Davies. With a little over 18 to go in the second half, we're still scoreless. Jack Anderson will head that one up. I believe that's Glover, and now running up on it is Adams. Adams to Biminiana, back to Adams. And now back to Biminiana, but out of bounds for a Packer throw-in. Taking the toss here for West Fargo is it's Berhe. And I phonetically wrote down how to say his first name, but I can't read my own writing, so. 10 minutes till halftime. Green Bay leads Chicago 7-3 in the NFL season opener. I believe that game is on NBC, if I'm not mistaken. And that game will still be on here after we finish the last 17 minutes of this one up. So stay with us here. I'm sure you're not going to miss too much on that NFL game. As we hit the 17-minute mark. Ball will come to the near side. Jonas Adams will pick it up and get it up towards Carlos Dixon. But also battling for it in the corner here was Dahal, I believe. Yep, it was. Biminiana with the throw-in, and a whistle will come. I believe it was an illegal throw-in. We'll take that moment here to reset our clock. All right, now our clock is on again. About 16:07. Yeah, it looks like we're right on. Jonas Adams touched up on it. Now the Packers get it back. Maybe running in. Ali unintentionally got tripped up by Miniana, finds Carlos Dixon. Dixon, shot on goal, and the save off the right foot by Casembio. What a save there by the West Fargo Packers goalie.
Saved by Samuel Casimbo.
15:25 to go here. That was another great opportunity there for Fargo Davies as Dixon was driving in, and I mean, if it wasn't for Casembio's foot, it would be 1-0 Eagles right now. That one's popped up to the near sideline and out of bounds for a throw-in. Smaby will pick it up, get it onto the foot of By Miniana. By Miniana flips it inside. Ali is there trying to touch up on it, trying to get around a couple Packer defenders. Gets it back to Carlos Dixon. The ball escapes. Jack Anderson feeds it back in the direction of By Miniana, but it goes off the foot there of Hall, and that will be a throw-in here for Fargo Davies with 14:47 and counting to go here in the first half. Oh, it'll be a corner kick, actually, and Jonas Adams will line up for the corner kick. That one comes in, and that's punched away there by Casembio and then booted up into the air by Berhe. And now Jonas Adams will knock it back in, and it just goes over the top of the crossbar and behind the net. So some intense action here from Fargo Davies in the last 60 seconds, and now we'll see if West Fargo can kind of deflate the energy that the Eagles have at the moment. They will get that ball up over midfield, but it'll land there for Smaby. Smaby battling there with Kabbalah, and also in on the action there was Osman. Come near side by Miniana, tried to feed it inside there for Jonas Adams, and it was taken away, and now the Eagles will get it right back. By Miniana, got it to Smaby. Smaby's pass to Miniana was intercepted by Kabbalah, and Kabbala's down, and clock will still run for the moment. He's up. Oh no, that wasn't Kabbalah, that was Magar, excuse me. I thought the 5 was an 8. So, taking the, DeHall will take the free kick here from about 53 yards out from the goal. He'll put it up and drop it right on the 18. That's headed away over to the far sideline. Picked up there by Fargo Davies. And nice defensive play there by Anderson to get it out of bounds and temporarily put a stop to that West Fargo attack. Eagles have had about 3 occasions in this game where they've had constant pressure within the 18, but they haven't been able to punch one into the net just yet. 12:48 and counting. And a free kick coming up here for, it looks like Enoch Gardy will set up the ball. Whether or not he'll take the kick is another question. Looks like Gardy will take the free kick. This one coming from about 21 yards out. I can't quite see where the ball was lying there. I'm going to say closer to 20 yards. And Gardy will set up. And Gardy will put it up and just over the crossbar, hits the football upright crossbar, and that'll be a goal kick here for Fargo Davies. So 12 minutes to go, neither team has put one in yet.
Max Pritchard back in for the Eagles, back in for the Pack, George Reeves.
Well, if the Fargo South Bruins, last check, they led 3-1 over Grand Forks Central up in Grand Forks. So if the Bruins hang on and win that, then if this game does end in a tie, Fargo Davies would still be the #1 team in the EDC. If West Fargo wins and Fargo South wins, then Davies would still be #1 by 1 point, and if this game ends in a tie, Davies would be #1 by 2 points, assuming those other outcomes stay as they are at last check. Battle for the ball, far sideline, squirts out of bounds. I believe that's a Davies throw-in. No, it's a Packer throw-in. Far side battling for the ball is Shushan Rai along with Nordine Musa. Jensen will boot that one away, come up midfield and get a nice Davies bounce. 2-on-2, and the Packer defender will clear it out. Smaby will touch up on it, and now Jonas Adams will pick it up just behind our scoreboard there on screen. Back to Smaby. Smaby looking for Baiminiana, but it's taken away there by Mauricio. No call there on that little push there. I believe that was Glover who came down to the ground hard. Yep, it was Glover. So throwing from the far side. Glover tosses it in. And it goes right back out of bounds for a Packer throwing. Just under 9.5 to go. Here's Baiminiana racing towards it through the near sideline. Centering pass for Adams. From Ali, back to Adams. Adams gets tripped up and no call. Muhammad Ali in the center there wanted a call, but the officials say play on. Now Ali will get it. Ali tried to cut through the defenders, maybe lost the ball. It'll go over the back line for a Packer goal kick. So I guess you could change that maybe lost the ball to did lose the ball. And since he wasn't able to recover it. 8:37 and counting to go here in the second half of play. It's been a good one between the Packers and the Eagles. Eagles have created a couple more opportunities than the Packers have had, but for the most part, this game's been about even.
Logan Hager returning for the Pack.
Davies Eagles unofficially only 9 shots on goal compared to 12 for the Packers, but about 3 of those 9 shots on goal were very quality scoring chance opportunities, and only about 1 or 2 for the Packers. 7:57 and counting. Someone will go over the head of Jack Anderson, and that was almost how the state championship game ended. It went over the head of the player and then one bounce over the goalie into the net. I thought we were going to see a repeat there. That was going to go in favor of West Fargo for a moment, but at this time, that momentum will be stopped. So throwing it in from the far side there was Kabala. That one will go out of bounds. Corner kick from the far side here. Corner kick comes in right in front of the net. It's headed around. And it'll be Shushan Rai who clears it. Kabala was trying to get the shot on goal, and that shot went a little bit wide. So now the Packers putting on the pressure here. Both teams putting on pressure. At random moments during this matchup. 6:27 and counting to go here. Ball comes up to about midfield. And they'll advance it up far side there. Shushan Rai over on the far side, touched up on it. Now the Packers will get it back. Packers will try and advance it up. I believe that is Nordine Musa, I believe. Take a peek through the binoculars there. And it was Musa. He'll get tripped up. Now draw the whistle for the free kick here for the Packers. And now we have a stoppage in the clock and a possible card. And we do have a yellow card, and that is going to Vetter, I believe. Coming in for Fargo Davies is Alex Anderson, a senior defender, number 16. So the free kick will come from that far side. That one just goes up and over the goal. Another nice opportunity here for the Packers. .5:34 and counting. That is the correct time. We made the adjustment there after forgetting to start it after we stopped it. Now we popped up by Waltz and headed right about midfield.
For Fargo Davies.
Shushan Rai over on the far side. I believe that was him anyway. Let's take a peek through the binoculars. No, I checked that. It was Muhammad Ali. 5 minutes to go in this matchup here. It's been a good one, even though we haven't had any goals yet. Fargo Davies comes away with the possession. They're working into the middle of the field here, and they're going to get it up to Baiminiana. Baiminiana gets by the lost defender. Baiminiana centering pass. Ali is there, not there. And now a whistle, and it looks like a free kick here for West Fargo, and Ali puts his hands up in the air, and he's not happy with that call from the official, but he doesn't have too much of a say in that one. So Packers will boot it away there off the free kick up to about midfield, and it'll be touched up there by, I want to say that's Hussam Osman, and it is. Osman gets tangled up there with Jonas Adams. Ball squirts away into midfield where Adams will pick it up, and there will be a whistle and a free kick here for West Fargo. So put up a high kick from, they'll veer a little bit to the right of the net, over to that far sideline. Ball will go out of bounds, and I believe it'll be a Packer throw-in. Yeah, last check, it was about 20 minutes ago, 18 minutes ago. Fargo South led Grand Forks Central 3-1. If we get an update on that game, we will certainly pass that along to you. Just under 3 minutes to go here in this one. Let's take a quick look, see how they're doing at Sid Sickey Field in South Fargo there. And it is now 4-0 in favor of the Mustangs. So the Mustangs lead the Deacons 4-0 with just under 5 minutes to go in that game. Here we're scoreless with just over 2 minutes to go. Once again, these two teams tied in their 2 regular season meetings last year. And there's still a little bit of time here, and anything could happen, but it looks like this one might result in a tie as well. We'll see if a team can create an opportunity here in the final moments. Like I said, this has been a physical matchup, and in the first half, the officials were allowing this physical play to go, and now here in the second half, they're blowing the whistle a little bit more frequently. Amda Hall will set it up here for the free kick, about 42 yards away from the net. But I'll put it up right at the top of the box. It's headed away there, I believe, by Jack Anderson. Anderson and Ali, it's a 2-on-1. It's a 2-on-1, he was onside. And now the whistle will blow, and I did not see the near side official. They're gonna stop the clock here. Looks like there's an injured Packer. The far side, the official's gonna go over to the far side official to have a discussion here. I think it's Sabidi Mauricio, who's the down Packer at the moment, but I can't quite get the jersey number at the moment. That stops the clock with 56 seconds. And they're going to hand a yellow card there to Ryder Schmidt. So the reason why that play stopped was because of some contact, I'm guessing, from Ryder Schmidt back on the other end of the field that the far side official witnessed, and he made the signal to the referee to blow the whistle. And that, I'm like I said, I wasn't looking back there. I don't even think we have it on camera. But if what I think happened, that ruined a potentially amazing opportunity there for Fargo Davies, as they had a 1-on-0 heading to the net down at the other end. So this will come from just outside of the goal box, about 19 or so yards away. Mason Wenninger, a junior forward, will appear to be the one who will take the kick. You also got Nurdin Musa right there. So it'll be either Musa or Wenninger that'll take the kick. And Wenninger will take it, put it up over the top of the goal. So, corner kick, or goal kick I meant to say, and that shot goes a little bit high and wide. 30 seconds to go here. We need to start the clock again. I apologize, friends. I got a little bit into the game here and forgot to start the clock.
20 seconds left.
There we go, 20 seconds left. We're off by about a second. Ten seconds. 10 seconds for West Fargo to see if they can get one final shot on goal, and that's going to do it. 2-1, and that is, friends, your final score. So end in a 0-0 tie. The last 3 meetings between these teams in regular season play has ended in a tie. Like I said, it was a good game, even though no goals were scored. Shots on net unofficially in favor of the Packers, 16-9, 0-0. Fargo Davies will get a point, West Fargo will get a point, and if that matchup, if that score with Fargo South and Grand Forks Central stays, that last time we checked, Bruins are up 3-1 over the Knights. If that score holds and the Knights don't come back and win that game, then the Eagles will remain in the number 1 spot here with the tie against the West Fargo Packers, but we'll have to wait and see to get the official word on that. So we'll take a timeout here and come back with your post-game show right after this. 0-0, Eagles-Packers tie for the 3rd time in the last 3 regular season meetings, and 0-0 your final score. Back in a moment here with your post-game show after this on the ND Sports Channel.
Diamond Academy and Magnitude Sports Media Network are providing a huge opportunity for high school athletes. Player profile videos shine the spotlight on a skill set required for a position in a particular sport. Whether you play softball, track and field, or any other sport, if you're a sophomore or junior, it's time to schedule your video. Most tapings take less than an hour and can save you thousands when a recruiter puts your name in the starting lineup for a college scholarship. For more information, click on Player Profiles at msportsnet.com or call us at 701-373-1843.
Download Game Time today.
Magnitude Sports Media Network is your home for all types of sports programming in a 3-state region. Over 500 previous games are available right now on demand. Since 2017, we've brought you an average of 275 games a year, including junior varsity and varsity matchups across 8 different sports. Now we're on pace for the same amount of games this year. It's a whole lot of sports, and it's all right here, where North Dakota, Minnesota, and South Dakota teams play. This is the Magnitude Sports Media Network.
Good sportsmanship. It will carry you further in life than sports. Growing up in North Dakota, I learned to respect my opponents, the coaches, and the officials. The values of fairness and teamwork carried me to the highest level in my sport and allowed me to live my dream of playing football in the NFL. It doesn't matter if you're on the stage, the playing field, or in the stands. We are all better when we show respect for others and practice good sportsmanship. Carry yourself with dignity. Being gracious makes the losses easier and the victories that much sweeter. So when the lights on the playing field, the stage, or the gym floor dim, you'll always have pride in yourself.
North Dakota Softball All-Stars podcast with Tim Howe keeps you up to date year-round on the sport of softball in the state of North Dakota. Coach and player interviews, who's moving on to play college softball, and that, well, guess what? That simply scratches the surface of this Grand Slam softball podcast. A new episode every week during the softball season and every month during the off-season. Listen anytime on demand on the ND Sports Channel, a Magnitude Sports Media Network station.
This isn't Madison Square Garden. These drills probably won't make anyone a #1 draft pick. But these players are practicing for something important. While they work on their jump shots, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, how to deal with wins and losses. Skills that will make them winners long after they leave the court. Support high school activities in your community, because when kids take part, they get set for life. This stage is nowhere near Broadway, and none of these actors will be accepting an Oscar anytime soon. Still, they are rehearsing for something important. While they learn their lines, they're also learning teamwork, discipline, self-confidence, that everyone has a part to play. Skills that will make them stars long after the curtain falls. The National Federation of State High School Associations reminds you that when kids take part in high school activities, they get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
All right, welcome back. Post-game show starts now here. 0-0 tie between the Packers and the Eagles. It's the third time they've tied in the last 3 regular season matchups. And 0-0, the end result of this one here. Coming up on our post-game show, we'll select the player of the game, take a look at our upcoming schedule. You can find us on social media and all that other cool stuff. Let's take a look at these two teams. Let me make sure I hit save on that before we flip to that next screen here. I just want to make sure. Save and close, and save and close. All right. I think we should be accurate this time. Fargo Davies Eagles 5-1-2 on the year now with the tie. 4-0-2 against EDC opponents. 2-1-2 on a road or neutral field. Still undefeated when playing at home. 19-7 as no goals were scored here. They've scored 19, allowed 7. It'll stay that way after this game here. Coming up, they'll have Grand Forks Central at home, along with Fargo South at home on the 7th and 10th of September. And then they'll hit the road against Shanley. That game will be on Shanley TV. You can catch that one on September 12th. And then home against Grand Forks Red River. And then on the road against Cheyenne Mustangs. That could be a tough opponent for the Fargo Davies Eagles. That might be one of their tougher opponents remaining on the schedule, a lot other than West Fargo and possibly Grand Forks Central wrapping up the regular season there. So Cheyenne, West Fargo, Grand Forks Central, those are the three teams. Maybe even Fargo South. They've been looking pretty impressive here over the last couple of weeks as well. So those are the 4 opponents that the Fargo Davies want to keep their eyes on. I would not imagine they would have too much trouble with the remainder of the teams on that schedule there. But I've been proven wrong before, so we don't want to jump to too many conclusions here. So once again, with the 0-0 tie, 5-1-2 overall for the Eagles, 4-0-2 against EDC. For the West Fargo Packers, 3-1-4 on the year. Once again, 4 ties, and they wish they could have 3 of those as a win. Witnessing this game here, even if the teams would have cashed in on the opportunities, it probably still would have ended in a tie. It probably would have been 2-2 or 3-3 instead of 0-0. But we'll never know. That's just a hunch up there. 9-5, they still outscored their opponents by 4. To the next game, after back-to-back 0-0 ties against Red River and Fargo Davies, they will travel down to Fargo South on September 7th, and we'll have that game for you here. I believe that is actually a 12 noon game and not a 7 p.m. game. I'm pretty confident on that. That game will not be on at 7 p.m. It'll be at 12 noon on September 7th at Fargo South against the Bruins. And that game we will for sure have here on the ND Sports Channel. And you can watch that one on September 7th. And then they'll hit the road, go up to Grand Forks Central, take on the Knights, and then back home against their rivals from the south, the Cheyenne Mustangs. Then they'll head over to Moorhead for a 3 p.m. game on a couple Saturdays from now on September 14th to take on the Spuds. Then back home against Shanley, on the road against Fargo North. And then home against Grand Forks Red River, on the road against Fargo Davies on September 26th. Mentioned that 2 or 3 times during our broadcast. That's the game we'll have for you here on the ND Sports Channel, the rematch. And we'll see if somebody can win that game instead of tie it. We'll see. And then they'll wrap up the regular season on October 1st here at home against the Fargo South Bruins with a 7 p.m. kickoff. So time now to select a player of the game. And who do you pick? Who do you pick? Who do you pick? Well, we actually picked 2 players, and we went with the 2 goalies for the 2 teams. Arissa Samuel Kasembo, the junior goalkeeper for the Packers, faced 9 shots, saved 9 shots, allowed no goals. Fargo Davies Eagle Jensen Waltz, junior goalkeeper, faced 16 shots, saved 16 shots, allowed no goals. And like I said, there were plenty of opportunities where those guys could have had one slip by them. But Waltz with a couple of spectacular diving saves, especially in that first half of play. And Casembio, no doubt, putting up a A-plus effort between the pipes, I guess is how you'd say it in hockey. That's not what I meant to say, but in the net, in the goal, however you want to put it. Putting in an A-plus effort there for the Packers as well to keep this thing knotted up at 0. But like I said, 0-0 final score. It was still a great game nonetheless. If we did this game 10 more times and it ended in 10 more 0-0 ties, I still wouldn't be disappointed in the quality of game that we had here between these 2 opponents. Like I said, this was a physical game. One of the more physical games that we've witnessed here on the ND Sports Channel this season so far between any 2 opponents. These 2 teams really want to take it to each other. I think these 2 teams are sick of tying each other. I think one of these teams wants the bragging rights. And right now, those bragging rights belong to West Fargo, let's be honest. I mean, they got the state championship. But, Fargo Davies, certainly a chip on their shoulder. We'll see if they can finally knock off the Packers at home later this month on September 26th. Or if the Packers can steal one on the road against Fargo Davies and make things really interesting in the EDC standings. We'll see how those standings look in a couple weeks from now when these 2 teams meet up again on September 26th. If you go to our website, msportsnet.com, under the Games button, click on Games on Demand, and you can see that JV game is uploading still. We had to cancel the upload in order to get you the video quality on the varsity game. So we'll get that one uploaded ASAP. West Fargo did pick up the 3-1 win over the Eagles. The lone goal for the Eagles went to Savvy Jones, and he's scored pretty much all the goals that were scored by the Eagles here on the ND Sports Channel, with the exception of maybe one in the junior varsity matchups that we have covered for Fargo Davies. For West Fargo in the junior varsity game, it was John Gafu scoring the first one. Isaac Fix would make it 2-0 on a penalty kick, and then A.J. Groves would score the third one with about 3 minutes left in the second half for the West Fargo Packers in that junior varsity game. And then, of course, this one in progress with a 0-0 tie, and both of these games will be available within about, we'll say 30 minutes, but we'll see. At least I'm hoping 30 minutes, because we'll have to upload that junior varsity game from scratch. The varsity game, I would guess, would be available before the JV game. Just an FYI, I know that doesn't normally work that way, but it works out that way today. So, once again, your final scores in the JV, 3-1 Packers win, and then in the varsity, a 0-0 tie. And let's go ahead and go back to our pregame. Our pregame section where we take a look at the standings. Now, these are not updated, but as you can see there, Fargo Davies will get 14 points with the tie. West Fargo will get 7 points. Cheyenne will more than likely win that game. I believe, let's check in on that, see if that game has come to a conclusion yet or not. And it has. At last check, it looked like West Fargo Cheyenne was up 4-0 at last check. I don't know if they scored a goal since we checked in with them last or not, but we're going to presume that they ended up winning that game, even though we don't know what the final score was. We presume it was 4-0. So the Mustangs will get 3 points, and they'll go up to 11. That'll slide them up to second place. Or no, check that, third place. No, actually, they'll keep them in fourth. As long as Fargo South, they were leading 3-1 over the Knights last time we checked. So Grand Forks Central and Fargo South would be tied at 12 points apiece if Fargo South holds on to that victory, and the Mustangs would slide up to 11 points just behind the Knights and Bruins, and Fargo Davies with 14 points will hang on to a 2-point advantage over the previously undefeated Knights, who now, it appears, will have 2 losses on the season instead of 1. And so they'll hang on to a 12-point advantage in the EDC standings with their tie here today against the West Fargo Packers, who will slide up to 7 points. And that will put a considerable distance between West Fargo and Fargo Shanley, with Shanley's loss to the Mustangs today. So that once again, that was as of before this game started. We just kind of verbally went over the updated standings and how they'll look on the EDC. No word on any. There was 2 games played tonight in the WDA. We don't have word on how those 2 turned out, and I'm guessing we won't have word on it before we conclude our post-game show. But that's a look at your updated standings and how things will look once they're updated here in later this afternoon. Back to our post-game show here. Under that game schedule, if you go to our stream schedule, you can see our next game is going to be tomorrow night. It says 7 o'clock there. It's actually 7:30, but you can tune in at 7. We'll be on shortly after that with the pregame show between the Fargo South Bruins and the Bismarck Legacy Sabres. And then we're back at it Saturday with Fargo Southwest Fargo at 10 a.m. for JV, 12 noon for varsity. And then if those 2 games, as far as time-wise go, end when we believe they will end, we will head over to Moorhead to have the Spuds and Bismarck Century matchup. That will kick off at 3 o'clock, and then we'll see Fargo Davies once again on September 10th when they host Fargo South at their home field in Extreme South Fargo. That should be a good matchup, actually. Fargo South looking pretty good here in the last couple of weeks. They might give Fargo Davies a scare, but we'll see. It's still a lot of games to be played between now and then, so Fargo Davies will host Fargo South on September 10th. That'll be the next time we see the Davies Eagles on the soccer field here on the ND Sports Channel. And then September 12th, Fargo South, Fargo North swim meet. That'll be our first ever. We'll see how that one goes. We'll have another one in early October there. We'll see how that goes and decide if we'll do more or not. And then back to football with the Bruins hosting the Shanley Deacons. Then back to soccer. And we'll head over to Moorhead as the Packers will travel over there to take on the Spuds. And then we'll come back here on September 17th for the West Fargo Packers matchup against the Shanley Deacons. And then Cheyenne and Fargo Davies. That game is actually still pending, but it's more than likely going to happen. Just waiting to get approval from the AD there at Cheyenne High School. I don't think it's going to be an issue, but we don't want to say it since they haven't given us the official word yet. We will hopefully have that game for you there on the 19th for the Fargo Davies fans. And then it's football time. Watford City, Central Cass, and then 3 games that we're not sure who's playing, but we know we have the contracts for them on the 21st in Valley City, so not exactly sure what's going on there. If those games do fall through, I think we'll have some soccer games in place of those to-be-announced football games on Saturday, September 21st. So you can check out the rest of that schedule on our website at msportsnet.com. You can also find us online. Each of our stations have their independent Twitter handles, and of course subscribe to us on YouTube to get the mobile and email alerts for all of our upcoming game broadcasts. And you can follow and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/msportsmnet. Thanks so much for watching. Your final scores once again in the junior varsity game. It was the West Fargo Packers 3-1 over the Fargo Davies Eagles. And in the varsity game, a 0-0 tie between the Eagles and the Packers. The preceding has been a production of the ND Sports Channel on the Magnitude Sports Media Network. Have a great night.